what does every human being want? In the Upanishads, which are a series of sacred texts that speak to the religious concepts and ideas of Hinduism, there is a phrase, I believe just around the beginning of the book, that says, "Set not your heart on another's possessions." And this phrase got me thinking, well, first of all, of course, I'm looking at these texts because Hinduism itself is central to the history of India. And so therefore, being here, I wanted my mind to kind of, not just intellectual, but from an honest point of view, understand what potentially can be the mindset of the spirit of the place, being here in the context of this idea of difference, which I am exploring, the difference of where I am from in London compared to being here in Jaipur. What's interesting to me is this idea of what does every human being want? Like, what's our heartbeat? What's the thing that we kind of strive for? And just being out in the streets and observing, watching and speaking to people, there is immediately a clear difference in terms of, you know, what I'm seeing on the streets compared to what I might see in certain parts. But overall in London, how people operate, how people are living and surviving. Look, people are surviving on very little versus people are surviving on quite much. And it's really vivid here. It's not, you know, it's not portrayed in a way where you kind of have to work it out. It's very much in your face. And there is this sense of chaos from the speed at which people are communicating, which makes me think about, you asked the question, why is someone having to do this at this speed and at this rate? Why might there be a sense of desperation from someone in terms of this is what I need to survive versus another person that doesn't have that kind of desperation? Well, this idea of desperation, this idea of need, this idea of want makes me think about just us as humans in general, that what is it at the core of us that drives us when we open our eyes and we're awake? It's the sense of there is something that someone needs and wants in every moment of their life that's helping them solve a problem at that moment, whether it's you're hungry and you need a sandwich and you go and eat, or whether it's you're sick and you need to go and see someone to help, or whether it's you're feeling lonely and you need to see a friend, or whether it's you're bored and you need to be entertained, whether it's you're feeling nervous and you need to be calmed down. There is constantly a need in the human experience. And so regardless of where we are in the world, there is always within the human being, there is always a want and there is always a need. So that's interesting. But the scale and the dynamic to which that is happening is very different. And that's something I'm looking at more. Immediately I'm struck by the stunning and beautiful fabrics that I see the women on the streets wearing, and kind of wearing it effortlessly and being confident in colors and being confident in how they move and walk on the street. There's no sense of, you know, just walking across the street, not apologizing for their existence and this beautiful green or red robe across the body. And that's really, I love seeing that. And it reminds me of my own, you know, actual culture, like Nigerian culture, this kind of robust, immediate sense of I'm here in this space that I would see in a Nigeria Yoruba woman as well. So, and even certain parts of London, but there is this immediate, vivid, powerful, clear sense of color, like everywhere. I'm seeing it, and someone like myself who loves working with color, it's beautiful to see. I'm going to keep exploring, and I'm going to just keep asking questions and continue to stay curious.